The whole idea is that we are trying to build a community, city-wise community, SME and startup entrepreneur community across 5 cities in South India, that is Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Kochi and Coimbatore. And we hope that in the next year or so, we will have a very strong platform that would have been created where all the members who are attending the event, not necessarily that people who are attending the event should be the member. Even there are a lot of people, who are not able to attend it, but still they are our members and they access to our videos and things like that. Though they are in touch with us, they access to our reports, they access to our research reports, they access to our videos. So that way they all connected with the top, and we are trying to build this platform, a stronger platform and exclusive platform for SME and startup entrepreneurs.
Just understand what is digital disruption. A lot of time you see that things move gradually, not in digital disruption. Suddenly one day you will hear an organization decides they've collapsed. How many of you are aware about Thomas Cook? It's just a couple of weeks back, right? What just happened? It didn't happen gradually. The whole tourism industry has changed. It has changed drastically, and you get up one day and say, hey, Thomas Cook can't pay salaries. Why? Because the entire industry has been taken over. That's digital disruption for you. How many have heard about Oyo Room 5 years back? None, right? How many have heard about a story that in 5 years company starts and gets to become a $10 billion valuation company? That's digital disruption for you. Correct? So I was talking about tech titan, right? You talked about a lot of things, Amazon, you talked about. Let me tell you a story. I don't know whether you're privy to that. Around 2 weeks or 3 weeks back, an elderly gentleman in US was riding a bike and fell. Apple Watch detected and immediately sent a SOS to the concerned person. In this case, it was his son, because you write in your Apple device who's your emergency number and all that. He immediately alerted the local authorities. They went there. Actually, the person was fallen from the bike. They picked it up. Timely intervention helped them. And Apple is into healthcare, in case you don't know. IBM is into healthcare. That Watson exactly does that. Yeah, Google is into healthcare, and all these things are happening right under their eyes. How many people thought that Apple, IBM, Google will become a healthcare company? Surely not a single hospital thought about it. Now they are thinking. Now they are talking that we need to collaborate with them. But tourism, by design, has a very high digital quotient. And you won't even know about it. Oyo is a digital company. They don't own any asset. Airbnb, a digital company. They're a tourism company. All the company, including Make My Trip, every related company where you book your flights, is a digital company. And they're a travel and tourism company. Nobody knows you. As long as you're available on your website, somebody sitting in Denmark will come to you, sit with you and sort out how they're going to book a room with you. Never in the history it has happened. This is how pervasive. You can sit in your house and actually start a tourism company. This is how the entry barrier has been lowered.
So this case is about one of our customers. She is the business owner of a plastic manufacturing company. They manufacture plastic files, folders, pens. They sell this to 3,000 odd traders out there, to shops out there. She sells it through some of her sales guys, through calls that she makes, through personal connects and some sort of marketing. But before she sells, she must really know, is she going to get the money for what she's giving them? And the simple solution that we suggest is, you need to track your profitability. If an invoice is becoming unprofitable, proactively go and get that money. So to do that, you have to streamline your collections. And therefore, you are aware of your business risk and you are aware of your cash flow needs. It's very simple, plain math, or plain accounts, as you call it. So, this is the core focus of any small and medium enterprise. Many of us, when we do startups or when we come into the space and start our business, we start focusing on, okay, we get distorted every day morning as we read the newspaper. This company raised so much money, this company raised so much money, and we think, okay, do I need to raise money? We did not realize that the real business rules and values, the bottom line of it, the bedrock, is revenue. What can you sell? What is the value you can give so that you can capture value? How can you build a customer and how can you get the money back? That is the bottom line. And if we are not on those lines, then we are scaling up a possibility of ending up like a WeWork today, or the other news of the startups you hear shutting down.
The biggest quest that humans have had till date. So we always have, wondered who we are. Yeah. Why are we here? And are we alone in the whole vast universe? We know universe is extremely vast. So we always have this question, right? I'm Ramesh Kumar. So I'll be taking you through what we have been through as a civilization so far, and what we are doing right now, and where we are heading as of now in the space tech industry. So all the applications, education, communication, deep space exploration, you can do it in, at a much lesser cost. The players, and so that's the space tech startup community in India, where we have Team Indus, which actually had a rover, Bellatrix Aerospace, Dhruva Space, Nopo Technologies, we are there, Astrogate Labs, which are building. There are a lot of people are doing a lot of stuff for Earth observation, for communication and stuff. We have a variety of opportunity for space tech startups, satellite and components, launch vehicle components, and then the whole infrastructure had to be built. And then
So there are three things. One, what's the state of leadership in India Incorporated today? And what's the promised land? When we become great leaders, what happens to us? What happens to our teams? What happens to our organizations? Number two, what's holding us back from reinventing ourselves? I mean, this is a very funny thing that happened. I was at an institution and we were talking about coaching skills, and the CFO walks in and says, you know what, I'm a CFO, I didn't need a coach, I didn't get a coach and I succeeded. And so my friend said something really wonderful. He said, people go to pranayam and art of living to learn how to breathe better. When people can invest money and time in learning how to breathe better, can't we not invest the same time in learning how to be better leaders? And number three is, if this is what it takes, what are all the steps that goes into reinventing yourself? A quick one. What do you see here are three things: a box of matches, thumbtacks, and a candle. Your task is to ensure that the candle is affixed to the wall and it's lit. In the interest of time, while you're thinking, I'll reel out some possibilities. Melt the side of the candle, stick it to the wall. Second thing is, make a horizontal bed of all the thumbtacks and impale the candle to that. Fair? Okay. What was going on? I'm sure some geniuses figured it out, but I'm saying most of us didn't get this the first time around. What was going on? We were cursed by something called functional fixedness. We thought the value the box brings to the table is just to hold the thumbtacks. Once we remove that blindfold, we're able to look at our people, our resources a little differently. Number two, if I were to give you 5 lakhs to solve this in 5 minutes, do you think you would be able to do that? They say throw money at the problem. Unfortunately, in this case, it will not work. Most of the challenges as entrepreneurs you're trying to challenge and you're trying to conquer come in shapes and guises like this, where extrinsic motivation has a limitation. You will have to find people and nurture what's really driving them from within. And also, once in a while, figure out what's your most important motivator. Money, status, recognition, certainty, uncertainty. What is it that drives you? Find that answer. When times are tough, that is what will hold you together.
Niramai means being healthy. Some of you may be aware of Sanskrit line, Sarve Santu Niramayaha. Let everyone be healthy. That's our motto. So that's Niramai. And what we are attempting to do here is to non-invasively detect multiple health risks using AI, because that's what I know. And the first problem that we are attempting to solve is, as I mentioned, the one which motivated me to start this, which is breast cancer. Incidentally, breast cancer is one of the largest cancer killer in women. 500,000 women die every year because of breast cancer. The unfortunate thing is that they don't need to die, because breast cancer is completely curable. 95% survival is possible, and it is shown and seen in many countries. However, in India, the survival rate is 50%. In addition, globally as well, women under 45 years of age do not have a test that can be used for screening in a very safe way. The most common method used for breast cancer detection is called mammography, which is an X-ray of the breast. And can you imagine? It is cancer detection using X-rays. So if you want to detect early, you cannot go every 6 months, every year to get a check down like you would do a glucose check, blood sugar check. Because overexposure to cancer can actually cause cancer just because of the test. That is the only test that's available, and that only works on above 45 years of age. So that is the scene. And we said we want to change this scene. And obviously we didn't want to use X-rays. So we started using a new method of sensing called thermal imaging, just measuring the temperature variations on the chest and adding machine learning on it. So we came up with this solution which today detects malignancies, which are cancer, 4 mm in size, as opposed to 2.5 centimeters, that is 25 to 30 mm, which is what is getting detected today. Size indicates stage, as you would guess. So we are talking about stage 0 detection of breast cancer, and doing it in a way that it is extremely privacy conscious. Nobody likes to disrobe in front of the doctor or technician, so on. So this is a no contact, no touch, no see. Nobody sees the person during the test as well. There is a booth, the lady enters, she comes out after 15 minutes and her report will be ready. Completely automated using the software. No radiation, we just measure the temperature variations on the chest. And it does work for men under 45 years of age. 17-year-old who is cancerous is somebody that we were able to detect as well as a 92-year-old who came into our camp and she was fine. So this is the whole gamut of age groups that can be detected.
Let me just bring the focus, because this is what we were talking about, is that why innovation is important. One part is capitalism, you make money out of that. The other part is a basic simple thing, is that do we not ensure that everyone should get a basic access to healthcare? I mean, come on, nobody should be dying of a simple thing like malaria today. Correct? There is, I mean, if you don't know, there's another interesting, I'll give the anecdote actually, but Geeta, question to you, right? Where do you see the scope of innovation in healthcare? I mean, you are a great example, right? I mean, you don't come from a pharma background, and look what you have created just being a PhD who understand physics, who understand computer science actually, and how the applicability. And this is just the one cancer detection. Nothing stops you. Anything which is lesion related and skin related, you are able to just pick it up and then share it with other people actually. But from your perspective, now that you are in this field, what is the scope you see the innovation in healthcare?
Sure. So one of the biggest technologies, right? Clearly, technology can bridge the gap. I think that most of us will agree. And how and what are those technologies is something that I would sort of like to just share my thoughts on, right? One is, of course, telemedicine, which you briefly mentioned as well, where you can get access, real-time access to real experts possible. In addition, I think the AI-based tools, right, have a lot of scope for these things. And I'll give an example, particularly in a real example using this. We've actually made 2 types of sort of reporting, right? For villages, when we have a lot of these ASHA workers and so on, they're smart enough. If you give them a tool which are simple to use, but you can administer with certain instructions, they are actually able to provide basic health facilities at the doorstep. Go to different houses and actually do this. And so what we did was, we said, okay, here is a tool which can be used by a health worker. We don't need a doctor. We don't even need a doctor to see the report as well. So the tool basically, it's like a triaging report. Red, yellow, green is automatically given. And using that, she can identify whether somebody needs care or not. And this can be done for every such disease, right? How is this possible? This can be made possible with artificial intelligence. We are not talking about AI replacing doctors as such. It's not going to happen. We really need doctors. Having said that, there are places where doctors are not going. There we can have this robo-doctor or something like that, which can at least do the triaging, red, yellow, green, right? So that we can give the right type of need, care at the right need and so on.
The answer is obvious, a cliche that anything is possible because there is no singular road to success. My success in Kerala was through gig economy. Gig economy is the term coined by jazz musicians because they used to get together a group of people, perform and divide the profits. So that's how Ola, Uber, Zomato, Airbnb and many other structures came about. We feel that only these delivery systems are gig economy, but in real, film industry, accounting, any kind of professionals also contribute a lot to it. First 10 companies got award. The first one is Apple, second is IBM, DreamWorks, Nvidia, Google, Cisco, Barco, University of Southern California, The Mill, MASH, Riot by Yahoo Mail, Survivors, and my company, which is the autosteer technology. We even got a patent for that, which will mostly be taken over by Disney in the coming months. Last month, we did augmented reality speech at COCON for ADGP Manoj Abraham, sir. It's available on Kerala Police Cyberdome YouTube channel. But unfortunately, there are not many institutes in Kerala which teach Unity, AR or VR as mainstream. So we have decided to onboard 40 underprivileged students, we are doing it already, and give them a residential course fully funded by us from boarding, food, all kinds of expenses, and the certification will be from the Hollywood Society. So
Kerala is in a very interesting inflection point, and I would not say the inflection point. I think we have already crossed the inflection point and we are in that phase of growth when it comes to entrepreneurial ventures. It's not just IT, we are seeing a lot of technology and new technology related firms doing very well. If we step back, there have been a history of good small and medium-sized manufacturing companies doing very well in Kerala as well. So the days of that narrative that businesses cannot survive in Kerala have gone, and now it's it's a new era which is coming up with a lot of technology and high skill initiatives coming up in the state.
Hi, I'm Geeta from Niramai Health Analytics, where we are developing a new way of detecting breast cancer in a completely non-invasive fashion using artificial intelligence. It's actually a deep tech startup where we are almost like 3 years old and based in Bangalore. I was here to talk about the story of Niramai, how we started, what are the learnings over the last 3 years, and it was a great environment here, the talk, where there's a lot of interaction post the talk and during the Q&A session as well. Really enjoyed it. Thanks to the organizers for inviting me for this. Thank you.
ഞാൻ ഇന്ത്യ ഇൻഫ്ലു എന്ന കമ്പനി റെപ്രസെൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. നമ്മുടെ കമ്പനി വെൽത്ത് മാനേജ്മെൻറ്റ് കമ്പനിയാണ്, സ്റ്റേറ്റഡ് ആണ്. ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാമിൽ ടോക്ക് പ്രോഗ്രാമിൽ പല അപ്കമിങ് എൻ്റർപ്രണേഴ്സ് വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട് ഇവിടെ മെയിനായിട്ട് ഡീൽ ചെയ്യുന്നത് വെൽത്ത് മാനേജ്മെൻറ്റ് പ്രൊഡക്ട്സ് ആണ്. നമ്മൾ ഇക്വിറ്റി, കമ്മോഡിറ്റി, കറൻസി, പിന്നെ അത് കൂടാണ്ട് PMS, മ്യൂച്വൽ ഫണ്ട്സ്, SIPs ഇങ്ങനത്തെ പ്രൊഡക്ട്സൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ മെയിൻ ഡീൽ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. വെൽത്ത് എങ്ങനെയാണ് മാനേജ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുക അതാണ് നമ്മൾ കസ്റ്റമറിനെ പഠിപ്പിച്ചു കൊടുക്കാൻ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ഇതേപോലത്തെ അപ്കമിങ് എൻ്റർപ്രണേഴ്സ് അവർക്ക് ഇപ്പോൾ ഞങ്ങളുടെ സംസാരിച്ചിടത്തോളം എന്താണ് കുറേ ആൾക്കാർക്ക് ലാഗിങ് ആണ് നമ്മുടെ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റിൻ്റെ ഐഡിയാസ് എന്താണ് അത് പഠിപ്പിച്ചു കൊടുക്കലാണ് നമ്മുടെ മെയിൻ.
ഗുഞ്ച് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു നാഷണൽ ലെവൽ NGO ആണ്. 23 സ്റ്റേറ്റിൽ ഓപ്പറേഷൻസ് ഉള്ള ഡിസാസ്റ്റർ റിലീഫ്, റീഹാബിലിറ്റേഷൻ എന്നിവ മെയിനായിട്ട് ഫോക്കസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. കൂടാണ്ട് റൂറൽ ഡെവലപ്മെൻറ്റ്, സ്കൂൾ ടു സ്കൂൾ, മെൻസ്ട്രൽ ഹൈജീൻ, ലൈവ്ലിഹുഡ് എന്നീ മെയിൻ മേഖലയിലാണ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഒരു യൂണീക്കായിട്ടുള്ള മോഡസ് ഓപ്പറാൻഡിയാണ് അൺലൈക്ക് അതർ NGOs ഗുഞ്ച് ഫോളോ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. വെച്ചാൽ അർബൻ സർപ്ലസ് റൂറൽ ഡെവലപ്മെൻറ്റ് ടൂളായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഉപയോഗിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മുടെ വീടുകളൊക്കെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന നമുക്ക് ആവശ്യമില്ലാത്തതുമെന്ന് വേറെ ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നതുമായിട്ടുള്ള എന്തുതരം മെറ്റീരിയലും സ്റ്റാർട്ടിങ് ഫ്രം ക്ലോത്ത് ടു വൺ സൈഡഡ് പേപ്പർ. ഇതിനകത്ത് നമുക്ക് ടോയ്സ് എടുക്കാം, ലൈബ്രറി ബുക്സ് എടുക്കാം, നോട്ട് ബുക്സ് എടുക്കാം, ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പർ, മാഗസിൻ ഇങ്ങനെ സാധനങ്ങൾ നമ്മൾ കളക്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ട് സോർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് സെഗ്രിഗേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് റീയൂസ് ആൻഡ് റീസൈക്കിളാണ് പ്രൊമോട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത്.